right? And also, it's worth noting that relearn packets are due next Wednesday for the second test. I'm going to have to start throwing some people up on the stage at lunch because they didn't do it for the first test. All right, so here's homework answers. Take a look, start seeing what you think. What's that? Huh? Oh! That's like saying, Mr. Lindquist, you're an idiot in a much nicer way. All right, what do I want? What do I want? I forget. Okay, so take a look at those answers, see what you think. Oh, I got to send you a reminder 101. That's what I got to do. All right, look them over. We'll go through all of them. Anything you want to. Okay, here's some scientific notation answers right there. I sent the Remind 101 message, so you'll be getting it after school to remind you that we have the library tonight, extra help tomorrow. Anything on there? How we looking so far? Okay, I think number 13 is an important question. We've been doing that for a couple of days now, right? That reverse where I have to multiply by 10, then divide by 10. 14 is a very difficult question. On the test, we did get a few kids who got it completely right, but we want to learn how to master a question like that, okay? You'll be getting a lot of those during the course of the year. These four equations are great questions to look over because not only are they like 3 on the quiz, but this is representative of a lot of your more difficult level equations that you get in this class. So if you can get all of these right, it means you've pretty much mastered multi-step equations. So take a look there, see what you think. Anything on that I need to go over with you guys? Anything? Going once? I feel like the guy teaching in Ferris Bueller. Anyone? Yarlene?
How'd you get 6? I'm not negative.
Which one am I looking at? A, B, C, or D?
A.
A?
How'd you get 6 W's?
Oh, well, did you get 5W minus 20?
Yeah.
And then plus W?
Yeah.
Well, aren't those W's on the same side? Same operation, right? Okay. Any other questions? Okay. And here's the last couple from the homework. Number 16, it says solve for m, so that means it's got to say m equals. So I undo the plus or the minus, minus the b, and then I still got to get m by itself, so I have to divide by the x. When I say undo, I mean inverse operations. We need to do the inverse operations on those things. A little proper terminology there. And then if I take a look at 17a and b, for 17a I distribute the 7s on both sides, and I come up with, in the end, negative 35 equals 70. That never happens. Because it cannot happen, there cannot be an answer. There are no answers to A. And for B, I distribute the 5, and then on the left and on the right, I do same side, same operation. And again, I come out with 15 equals 12. And again, that never happens. Because that can never happen, I can never get an answer. Cheyenne, we have been over this so many times this year. Oh, God. I swear, you say to yourself, how am I going to get my bald math teacher to yawn today? Okay? Anything else here, guys? Anything else? You even got Lucero in the back fighting off a yawn.
You're not fully bald like my dad.
No, I'm not fully bald. I am approaching fully bald. So.
You had hair and my dad lost it at 20.
20, wow. I started losing it at about 20. I can remember pulling hair out of my head when I was 20. I don't know if that was stress or whatever it was. I was refereeing hockey games. Sitting there going,
Most likely stress.
yep, I agree. All right, so here we go. We're going to work our way through today's Do It. All right, as always, or as almost always, because sometimes I'm stupid and I forget, but as almost always, I am recording today's lesson. And in the course of recording today's lesson, if you have any questions, you can go home and you can check it out. I'm going to do the Do It. You know what? Even before I do the Do It, I'm going to do the quiz and go over that. Even though the results on the quiz were very good. Lots of 75s to 100 on the first day of the quiz, which is always a really good deal. Okay. You know, every time I get up to go to the board, the first time I get up to go to the board, the pen doesn't work. Then you have to smack it around a little, kind of like a teenager. Then it works. I don't know why. Could be purely coincidence. There we go. All right, so the first quiz question was this. Oh, I gotta put the glasses on. And you know, it's so funny because, all right, we can put the artwork away. It looks beautiful, but time for art is done. 24x plus 4 plus 2x equals 3 times 10x minus 1. Now, in the last class, I apologize to the last class because one or two people did it the way I wanted it done. Everybody else tried to solve the equation. So I apologized and I said, gee, I guess I didn't teach this very well. And then I came in here and almost everybody did it the way I wanted you to do it. So I guess maybe I got it across to this class and I didn't get it so much across to the last class. Patrick, you with me here, buddy? It says it thinks that the answer is 3. So just check it. Just plug in the 3 and see if you get it. And let's just see if both sides end up equal. If both sides end up equal, you're right. Now, if you try to solve it, I really don't want you to do it that way because what we're looking to do, is check and see if you understand the basic premise. What is cyberspace?
Internet.
The cyberspace is not the internet, okay? Cyberspace is everything floating around out there that the internet connects to. If I want to Google something like fly fishing for Atlantic salmon, it somehow manages to go through all of the sites out there. Cyberspace is not something you can go to. Like, we can't go, oh, I'm going to go to the cyberspace building. Or I'm going to go to this room and I'm going to unlock a couple of doors in the room, open up a cabinet, and bam, there it is, cyberspace. It doesn't work like that. It's kind of floating all around us. Now, I like to say that Numberland is floating all around us. When we solve an equation, what we're really saying is out of all the possible numbers floating around there in Numberland, what's the one and only one answer that will check in this equation? So if I give you a question like number 1 and I say, here's the question, blah, 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 I think the answer's 3. You don't have to go through all the work to see if it's actually 3. All you need to do is check that answer. And if the answer works out to 3, then you know it's right. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm checking. 24 times 3 is 72, plus 4, plus 2 times 3 is 6. Over here, 10 times 3 is 30, minus 1 is 29. So this is 3 times 29. Now this is 76, 82, and 3 times 29 is 87. Does 82 equal 87? No. Therefore, it's not the answer. So when you take the quiz tomorrow, if you didn't realize that that's what I'm looking for, that's all I'm looking for. Really, really simple. Next, solve the equation. 9n minus 5n plus 4 equals negative 11. The great news is, I think just about everybody recognized that this was the same side situation. And they all said, well, 9n and negative 5n is 4n plus 4 equals negative 11. And then I think just about everybody did minus 4. I might have saw one kid do plus 4, but you do inverses, so opposites. Minus 4, die, 4n equals. Now here, a couple of kids wrote negative 7. If I have 11 negatives and I have 4 more negatives, what do I have altogether? 15 negatives, very good. Did I copy this wrong? Is this a 4n? Oh, this is 6n, I'm sorry. So that makes that a 3n, and that's a 3n. Then I divide by 3, and I get n is negative 5. Okay? All right, that's what I get for not putting my glasses on, which I'm about to do again. 12 minus 5y equals 2y, and then minus 2. This question, believe it or not, was the one that the kids had the most difficulty with in both classes. And this is just an opposite side, opposite operation situation. Always begin with the smallest number of y's. The smallest number of y's here is negative 5y. Negative numbers are always smaller than positive numbers. Die. 12 equals 7y minus 2. Take a look at your paper real quick. Did you get 7y there? Because a number of people did not get 7y. Somehow they came up with 3 y's, one way or another. God bless you. Add 2 to both sides. 12 plus 2 is 14. Divide by 7. Y is 2. Okay? Any question on that? Now, as always, my advice to you is if you didn't get 100 on this, and if you still have lingering questions after we go over this, my advice to you is to go home and watch the video with this work on the quiz there, and then I think you'll be in much better shape for tomorrow's quiz. All right, so this is a little bit of everything put together. I thought this was the hardest equation, yet this is the one a lot of kids rock this out. I mean, a lot of kids. I was really impressed. 2 times 4n is 8n, 2 times 3 is 6, plus n equals 4n minus 44. So that was the first step, to distribute. The next step is to combine like terms. Same side, same operation. 8 n's and another n make 9n, plus 6 equals 4n minus 44. And we get a little sloppy with signs here. Minus the 4n, 5n plus 6 equals, careful here, negative 44, minus the 6, and I get 5n equals negative 50, divide by 5, n is negative 10. Okay? Any question on any of those? All right. So now what I want to do is let me take a quick look at the do it and see if there's anything that I really want to go over. I do want to go over number 3, as this is a little bit of a review as to what we worked on yesterday. If I work on number 3 and I distribute here, I get 5x minus 15. And over here, I get 2x's plus 3x is 5x plus 10. When I subtract 5x from both sides, I get negative 15 equals 10. Does that ever happen, that negative 15 equals 10? No, because it never happens. It's choice B. There is no solution. And on number 4, the correct answer is choice D. Adding exponents, I get 10 to the negative 4. Everything else works out to be 10 to the negative 3. Okay? So are there any questions? All right, let's go forward to today's lesson. We are now about to start on what is a topic that traditionally drives kids absolutely nuts. We're only gonna get a couple of minutes to start today. We'll do a little more of this work tomorrow. I think the quiz took longer than I wanted it to today, because I did not expect to run this long. Look, cutting to the chase. When we do word problems, what we want to do is read it over once, and then I want to read a piece of information, use it. Read it, use it, read it, use it. That's how we do these things. So, if 5 is subtracted from 4 times a certain number, the result is 23. Write an equation and find the number. So, I look at that, and now I identify some key words. One of the key words I identify is this word from, and subtracted. Subtracted from. So I'm going to need a subtraction symbol. From always goes first. We talked about that earlier in the year. From always goes first. Now, what does it come from? 4 times a certain number. I write that 4n. That's how I write 4 times a certain number. What am I subtracting from that? I'm subtracting 5. So 4n minus 5. Now, when I'm done using something, I put a line right through it because I never need to read that again. I have used it. Now, what's the next few words say? Jennifer? That's right. The result is, that's saying equals 23. I'll put a line through that. And if you do it right, the only thing left is the directions. What does it say to do? Write an equation. That's done. And then what does it say to do? Find the number. So what do I do now? I add 5 to both sides. This is nice and easy. The cool thing about word problems is if you can write the equation like this, usually the solving is easier than we did on the quiz. N is equal to 7. Okay? I know we're going kind of quick here. I got to do a better job of this tomorrow. If a number is tripled and then 7 is added to it, the result is 1. Okay, how would I write a number is tripled? Go ahead.
A number to the power of 3.
No, that's cubed. Tripled means times 3. So 3n, here's my number tripled, and then 7 is added to it. How do I add 7 to it? How do I do it? Plus 7, good. Cross that out too. The result is 1. So what do I write now? Equals 1. I'll cross that out too. Find the number, which we're doing. Minus 7 minus 7. 3n is negative 6. Divide by 3. And is negative 2. Okay? So here's what we got going on here. We read it once, then we pick a part of it out, write a conclusion, cross it off. Pick a part out, write a conclusion, cross it off. Pick a part out, write a conclusion, cross it off. The only thing left is the directions on what they want you to do with the problem. Okay? So we are going to do word problems for the rest of this week. We'll do them into next week and into the test that we take next week as well. Okay? All right, folks. Again, great job on that quiz today. Keep it up. Nice eyeball. And whatchamacallit, we'll get ready to rock. Bell should ring momentarily.